Welcome back to Marketing Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpuff, your host. Again, we're talking about marketing experts around the country doing great things for their clients. And today we are in Columbia, South Carolina with Heather Heuman of Sweet Tea Social Marketing. And Heather, welcome to our conversation today.
Hey, thank you so much. It's so great to be here with you, Howard.
Well, we're glad to have you and glad to learn about you. I think you're doing a lot of amazing things. You're really, just looking at your website and the amount of podcast episodes you have out, there's a lot of things you have to say and great stories to tell. So why don't we start with your story? How did you get started in marketing? And let's talk about that evolution.
Yeah, so the short version is I used to be a special education teacher turned digital marketer. And about 21 years ago, I found myself in the whole .com era, going from office manager to project manager to graphic designer to web designer at a digital marketing agency. So I just literally learned day in and day out, boots on the ground, so to say, and just really fell in love with the ability to build connections through this online medium. And then fast forward in 2010, I started my first company. I got a master's degree, and I kind of stumbled upon this business model, but I pretty much use content marketing to build my business, but I leverage social media to really market it. And businesses and chambers and people began reaching out to me, then asking if I could serve and help them. And that evolved in 2014 when I started our company, Sweet Tea Social Marketing, and really just leaned strong into this idea of building relationships with real people and leveraging social media and online marketing capacities to do so. So it's been a cool journey.
Well, that really is great. And having those relationships is so incredibly important. Just setting them up to connect with consumers and connecting with the companies to make sure that you're working with the right people, working people that you enjoy working with. So what mediums do you focus on to get those messages out for your clients?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, my happy place is focusing on social media. So, I have spent most of my time and my expertise with LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then I'm really heavily into the idea of using podcasting, whether you do have your own or you're just guesting on other people's podcasts, to really try to amplify your visibility. I think sometimes when people talk social media, they focus very heavily and almost put a negative spin on all of these vanity metrics. But I'm a data girl. I like numbers, and people need paying clients, not just increased followers. So if you want to have all of those increase in monetization opportunities, you do have to be really increasing who knows you exist, who knows that you can solve problems. And so I have found podcasting and really leveraging really great video on social to be like a great means to do that.
I don't think enough people realize that there's a lot of podcasts out there, and most of them are always looking for guests. They're scrambling to find someone to talk about their topic, but so they can keep putting out that content. And it's finding the right way to get in front of the right people so you can be a guest is almost as powerful as a podcast, because you can be a guest on 6, 7, 8 podcasts and have all that content out there. Are you helping your clients get that as well in as part of this process?
Absolutely. And it ultimately really depends on their industry. I have a lot of clients that are in the service space, whether they are a coach or a consultant or a construction contractor. So it might really look differently based on what their specific business model is. But I always try to encourage my clients to really say what is in it for the audience of that podcast. So if you're going to reach out to someone, especially if it is a cold reach out, genuinely take the time to know what the podcast is about, what the style is about. But when you reach out to them, they are not interested in reading a journal about you, but rather position in maybe 2 to 3 bullet points on how you can serve their audience and why it's like an easy yes for them to say yes to having a conversation with you. And to your point, podcast guests, people on television, all of those mediums are looking for really great content. And when you position your mindset and just even your strategy to cultivating relationships online, it makes it so much easier for you to really kind of get your foot in the door when you're really trying to expand.
It's so very important to have those opportunities. And starting a podcast is not hard. It just takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of effort, and you really can get a message out that way. Um, Looking towards the future with what you're doing with your clients, where do you see some evolution of marketing that you're going to be refocusing with them?
Yeah, that's a really great question. One of the things that we have really focused on as we've moved forward and really we look at the trends, we look at the changes. I personally am really big into high level, high touch human connection. And so in the midst of the bots and the text marketing, the AI, all of which I do believe has a space in the technology, I like to lean into I want to help our clients differentiate themselves by going all in, being able to have that true like customer connection, building excellent relationships, and really almost saying people over profits. And I think that in the midst of the AI and the bots and all of those automations, I believe I like to go in the direction of zigging when everyone else is zagging. So for us and our clients, that really means high level, high touch, one on one opportunities and really giving our customers and their brands that experience, especially as it relates to us really helping execute what their online social media marketing presence looks like.
Well, it really sounds like you have a great vision for what you're doing with your clients and making sure they're getting them the right message out there to the right audience. So we thank you for sharing your journey, your expertise in marketing with us, and thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Howard.
And thank you for joining us as well. Really having that right plan and focus of getting your message out there, telling your story in the right places is extremely important. Heather really has a handle on how she helps her clients in getting their message out there. There's more information on Daily Ad Brief, but go on, have a great rest of today, and we see you next time on Marketing Champions.